Hi everyone, Aidan here with eTrailer. Today we're taking a look at the RockyMounts GuideRail on the back of our 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe. The GuideRail is a platform-style bike rack that holds the bike in these trays and holds it by the tires. You've got this dual wheel mount design where these two hoops go over the tires to hold it in place. It does mean it has zero frame contact, so alternative frame bikes and carbon frame bikes are going to be just fine to load up here. And you do have a 60-pound capacity per bike, making it good for some of our e-bikes too. With this, you do have the ability to tilt it away with bikes loaded. There's a blue handle underneath at the back end, really easy to access that we can pull and lower the whole rack down. Now this one has a really aggressive tilt, so it gets you a lot of room to open up the back hatch on your Tahoe. You can see here that there's plenty of room to get it fully opened up, get things out of the back if we need to, maybe have a place to sit down and change our shoes before or after our ride, or to sit and have a drink. With this, we can close it back down. And the room that we have here to tilt this away with bikes loaded is pretty significant because that has been an issue we've run into a couple times today. Say, for example, on the Kuat Envy. That one is a really popular platform rack, but with a mountain bike like this, we didn't have enough room to clear, just because it didn't tilt far enough. So depending on the bike rack you choose, some might be a better fit for your Tahoe than others. This one I think fits pretty well. Getting the bike unloaded, we've got these blue levers that we can pop open on each of the wheel hoops. What this does is actually disengage the ratcheting mechanism, so we can push this wheel hoop away as far as we need to. And then we've got full open room to just lift up and away on the bike and get it unloaded. Because of that open design, it's really easy to get the bike up there or take it off. The only thing that really adds an element of difficulty to it is the height. Because your hitch sits pretty high off the ground and you've got a pretty aggressive rise in the shank, plus the stadium design where the trays are actually staggered, you have to lift the bike up quite a bit. And if you do have an e-bike, that is something to consider, that it is going to be heavier and you have to lift it high up. Now with both of those down, we can take some measurements. The first one being ground clearance. Like I mentioned before, we do have this pretty high off the ground, coming in at the back end at 33 inches of ground clearance, which is the highest that we've seen today of any of the bike racks we've tested. If you're looking for ground clearance, this is definitely the one that's going to get you the most, more than enough to clear for any sort of steep driveways or hills. And it does this while not adding too much length to the back, sticking out only 29 inches from the bumper, which is pretty impressive. With this, you do have the ability to fold it upright, using that same handle as before to save some space. So if we want to leave this in the hitch between rides, we can, and it'll only stick out 13 inches. As far as the closest point to the bumper goes, we've got 3 inches of space, which might not sound like a lot, but this bike rack is rock solid. It's got tons of metal components on it, and it's built really tough, so I'm not worried about vehicle contact. Coming down to the hitch, we can see it's working with our 2-inch by 2-inch receiver tube, and it comes with a locking anti-rattle bolt that's going to keep things solid and secure in the hitch. That lock is key-like to the lock core up top that we can use to run our chain through our bikes to lock them up. That chain isn't intended to be used while you're driving, but if you do leave the bikes unattended, it's going to be very secure. And overall, if you're looking for something that's going to work really well with the Tahoe, I think the GuideRail is definitely a great pick. I love the amount of tilt that you get with it and the strong construction. The only thing I'd point out is that if you're worried about the weight of the bikes and lifting them up so high, you might want to look into something that comes with a ramp like the Hollywood Rack's Destination e-bike rack. Otherwise though, I think it's a really great fit. Thanks for watching.